Hi, good morning. It's Brenda, Dr. Brenda Esh and Shoshana back, always back, coming back and forth with another little talk on simple solutions in a complex world. I'm getting tired of calling it a complex world. There's nothing complex about it. The mind, as I say over and over, is complex. The world is very clear, very simple, very inviting. And here we are right before a season, a weekend, a very big holiday is coming up for all of us. And it's a time for reflection, a time for escape from bondage, a time for restoration, resurrection, rejuvenation, a time to bloom, to enter our promised land. Wow. Entering our promised land. Where is our promised land? And what is the bondage we really have to escape from? That's a very big question. It's a very important question. You know, we take these stories we read literally. We love reading stories, whether they're in scripture, they're not in scripture, wherever they are, and we dwell upon the stories rather than how it applies directly to our life right here, right now, today. Because all teachings, and many of them are eternal, that people are reading and dwelling upon generation after generation, the reason they are is because they are reflections of what's happening today in each person's life, along with ways of moving through that particular journey, the journey of bondage. It's a journey. It's not forever. We all feel in different ways very deeply in bondage, especially these days where there's so much conflict and confusion. We're in bondage to our confusion, for sure. We're in bondage to all of these events that go on, it seems endlessly, doesn't it? And we're in bondage to what? What are we really in bondage to? It's a very profound koan. And as I've said many times from the Zen tradition, I'll repeat it today because it seems relevant. A koan is a question given to you by a teacher, or by life itself gives us many koans. And this is a question that does not have a logical, rational answer. We can't figure it out. We try and try and try, and we come up with other explanations. And many times the explanations create more confusion, more dissension, more conflict. You'll never solve a koan trying to figure it out and thinking and thinking and thinking about it. The way you solve a koan, you don't, by the way, you never solve a koan. The way the koan becomes revealed to you, the essence of it, you could call it the answer, but or response to it, is by living it, being it, and letting it show itself to you. So in the Zen tradition, we sit quietly, meditate, do Zazen with the koan there, but not figuring it out, just being with it, living it. You know, that's the truth for any question that comes to us. The way we can find the true essence of it is to actually live it, taste it, experience it in a different place, not necessarily always thinking in our head, just to truly experience it. And life itself is a huge koan, a huge koan, and we're constantly experiencing it. But unfortunately, we keep trying to figure it out. And that really stops it from being revealed because it can't be figured out. What are you in bondage to? It's a wonderful question. Ask yourself that. Pause and listen for the answer. If you're really willing to hear the answer and to integrate it, to live with it, it will be revealed to you. It's right there. It's right inside of you, the answer, not outside. It's within you, in a part of you that you have to just tune into and be quiet and let it be revealed. So when I say we're in bondage to this or that, well, okay, those are just some suggestions, some ideas, but it's important for each person to take that in and look at it carefully. What is it that's causing me suffering, causing me punishment? Whatever the way, however you look at this weekend, these holiday sessions, whatever, what is it that's killing me off, that's stopping me from living? For some of us, it's automatic, blind adoration of all kinds of tyrants and authorities, just like in the stories of Passover. The Pharaoh, still alive, all over the place, and inside of us too. The one who says, no, you must obey me and the way I want the world to be. And I have the answers and you don't. That's a tyrant, the tyrannical part of life. People who manifest it, it's in everybody, but there's also another part that wants to reveal the truth and be loving and warm and go free, go free. Ascend. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. To ascend, to go free, to be restored to what? To who we truly are, which is not a being of pain and suffering and confusion. Restored to who we are, one who knows the truth and who can live it and share it. This is not just a fable about some kind of saint. It's not like that. It's a very direct encouragement for our own life. You know, in the story of Passover, when they're walking through the Red Sea, walking to the promised land, so-called, unknown, walking through the unknown, that sea didn't part. It didn't open until the people took this first step in. You have to take a step into the unknown for yourself. Have enough faith to do that. Trust, whatever, or courage, whatever words you want. Take that step into the unknown, and life, it opens up. The difficulties open up and you can walk through. There are many, many, many beautiful ways that we ascend from all kinds of suffering and are restored. And that is what this season is about. It's a good time to realize, number one, we can be restored no matter what we've suffered. Even if we're blameless and we've been put through agony, even if we've shivered and listened to false authorities, who we truly are is always waiting and ready and alive to come to life. It's about coming to life, a new life. How beautiful. And how needed. Let's take this whole holiday season personally. Let's take it to heart. By which I mean, allow yourself to be restored, to be renewed, to try something completely different, walk into the unknown, and let the unknown reveal what it has to you. So I wish you a beautiful, beautiful holiday season and a beautiful day today, too. Take good care. Be well, Brenda.